This is the Business on Top podcast with Shane Chernoff, Vijay Patel, and Ben Siegel.
Major chuggage.
Wow, the rum really sits at the bottom of this, huh?
Oh my god, he finished before you.
My name is Shane
No, I
Chernoff,
finished.
and I am lactose intolerant. I'm not sure how well this is going to go for me, but damn, that does taste like bubble gum.
Yeah.
It's like Big League Chew as a drink. No wonder people love this stuff.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Business on Top podcast. We're back on episode 15. This is going to be our last show of 2020. So if you like us, this might be the last thing you get for a while. You may get a quarantine queries. I might try to do a one-on-one interview, but we'll see. That's not a guarantee. But throughout this year, from basically the beginning or middle of the summer through the end of this, it's been our pleasure entertaining you guys, talking about like fun stuff that you talk about with your friends, but don't necessarily broadcast.
They partying next door and didn't invite us?
I guess so.
Yeah.
It might be.
Party next door.
Yeah, we might have to do a remote show from the place next door starting in 2021, because this is going to be our last true Business on Top show. So thank you so very much to listeners, and we want to thank our sponsors, including Mima's Chimi. And I wanted to let you guys know that even if you were still looking for a holiday gift, Mima's Chimi is an all-natural, handmade artisan sauce that is made right here, locally in Boca Raton. It can be used on almost anything: steak, chicken, fish, impossible meats, salads. You know I'm going to make impossible tacos with this. I promise you it's going to be an Instagram Live. It's coming this Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. And as a matter of fact, I guarantee you that next week I will be making on Instagram Live, on our Instagram handle, at BusinessOnTopPod, impossible meat tacos with Mima's Chimi. The possibilities are really endless. It comes in an 8-ounce jar. You can order it at www.mimaschimi.com. If you're in South Florida, it is available at several different places: Dorset Italian Market in Boca Raton, Bravo Supermarket in Pembroke Pines, and in El Bodegon at Lake Worth. And now, Vinny's Stone Crab Market Grill has it there too. And not just that, they make a Mima's Chimi hoagie. They slap a little nice natural handmade bread with some steak and some Mima's Chimi. Guys, we gotta go. I'm telling you, we gotta get out there and do it.
This is on top at Vinny's Steakhouse.
Remote from Vinny's Steakhouse. We're doing it. And you know what we're gonna say there? We're gonna say the same thing that we say when we do Mima's Chimi here, when I eat Mima's Chimi here. Because I know that when I eat Mima's Chimi, I say, it's not Chimi if it's not Mima's.
God, yeah.
So,
Rock hard.
so we are back. We are back, people. It's been a very weird year, but it's also been a very weird week in the world of college football. There has been some absolute chaos as teams have begun and continue to cancel games because of COVID. Some games have had bizarre endings, and you know that we were not going to bring this episode to you without talking about the damn shoe throw. I mean, who throws a shoe, honestly? Who throws a shoe, honestly? I mean, come on. And it was interesting because I was at that game. I was at that game. It was my first sporting event since the pandemic started. How
was that?
It was totally bizarre. Most people know that if you go to a Florida Gators tailgate, you better get there 2-3 hours before the game, because parking is going to be a nightmare if you try to cut it close. We got there 30 minutes before game time. We parked on Fraternity Row, which is basically adjacent to the stadium. I chugged a beer in the parking lot. I walked over. It was like a basketball game in a football stadium, crowd-wise. No line for concessions, no line for the restrooms. It was bizarre, and honestly, it would have been, I'll tell you what, because I hate crowds so much, it would have been my favorite game ever if we actually had won it. And it was a winnable game because you get the stop on third down, And all of a sudden, Marco Wilson decides he wants to be an Olympic athlete and compete in the shoe throw event.
Shot put.
Yeah, he shot put at the shoe. I liked how when the referee called the penalty, because remember the fog was one of the other things that made that game freaking weird. I mean, he said that the Florida player threw the LSU player's shoe 20 yards downfield. I'm glad that he measured. And I didn't
It was
even
quite a throw.
He
launched it.
No, he did, but I didn't even see it because the fog was so thick and it happened on like the far side from where we were sitting.
Yeah.
It was honestly all like an out of body experience because if you think about all the things that had to go wrong for UF to lose that game, there was a drive in the beginning of the game where they were on about the 1.5 yard line, and the offensive line couldn't create a hole big enough for Malik Davis to run through and punch it into the end zone, and it just wasn't happening from that point forward. They were outplayed on both the offensive and defensive line, and granted they didn't deserve to win that game. I know LSU had some luck. I mean, 57-yard field goal, which was the longest in LSU school history, but UF was set up for a field goal make, and Evan McPherson, Big Mac, he missed it. And probably, Ben, I know you and I were talking about it at the break, the most surprising thing that came out of all of that was that UF only dropped one spot.
Yeah, I think this past week the college football committee, the playoff committee, has really shown that, it's biased. If it was a true committee where it was putting teams based on whether it be win percentage or, quality of victories, UF should have dropped, like you said, outside of the top 10.
Absolutely, they should have dropped more, losing to a 3-6
they lost
LSU
to an
team.
unranked LSU. What, they dropped one spot? Are they 7 now?
They're 7 now, yeah.
They dropped one spot.
Which, and to me, it doesn't make any sense. You play a 3-6 team at home, you get outplayed on both sides of the line, and you lose a game that, God, you had so many opportunities to win. That's not the making of a playoff team, but, if I had to play devil's advocate, if I'm speaking for the committee, I think they're all about trying to figure out the 4 best teams, and it's such a weird year that the records don't necessarily reflect the 4 best teams. But the odd thing about that is, you're basically just taking the people that you thought were going to make it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Your Clemson, your Notre Dame, Alabama, and Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Ohio State. Yeah.
Why is Ohio State? Ohio State's played 3 games.
They haven't played it yet. Minimal amount of
games.
games. Well, it depends on what your idea of it is. If your idea is, the 4 best teams should make the playoffs, then why not have Ohio State in? Because
what was the point of the regular season?
Well, no, I agree with you there, but it's very strange because what are you picking? Are you picking the team that has shown you the most over a substantial period of time in the regular season, or are you picking just the 4 best teams because those should be the playoff teams? What are your thoughts?
Well, my point was going to be, so Alabama plays Florida in the SEC championship.
That's correct. That's going to happen tomorrow.
If Florida beats Alabama,
they're in. They're in the playoffs.
God, can you put a 2-loss team in there because it's never happened?
It might
What
not.
I know, but that's
they must really like
because think about it. Clemson's playing at Notre Dame. So one of those teams is probably going to get knocked out, assuming that would be assuming Alabama loses, I guess, because at worst one of those teams would probably drop to 4. But what are your other conference champions? I don't think Ohio State's playing a conference championship.
Yeah, they don't have to though, because I legitimately think, and I hate to give Ohio State any kind of praise whatsoever, I legitimately think that they're a top 4 team in the country and they should be in the playoffs. It's not. It is their fault, but it's not because I think I've seen enough.
Yeah.
Weren't we sure that when that Michigan game got canceled, you knew they were going to beat them by 40 points. You knew they were going to steamroll them.
Yeah.
And that team is actually good on both sides of the ball. UF, you've seen enough to know that team is just an absolute defensive liability.
Oh yeah. I don't think we don't deserve to be in the playoffs with our defense being like that. There's no.
Unless they show you something completely different tomorrow, and even then, that just makes things more complicated.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens, honestly.
Yeah. This whole year, especially in college, you got teams canceling games, you got some teams playing. It's they really shouldn't have even had the playoffs. I know you have to because you played it.
Because money.
Yeah, because money. Yes.
But let's be real. The playoff system this year was all out of whack. But
speaking of money, please use your money to buy BOT Pod gear.
$20 for a hat or a shirt you're choosing.
You can get it right away, right now.
The
Slide
hat-
into our DMs at BusinessOnTop.
Hats are unisex, guys, girls, with a nice little strap back Nike hat. The shirt, comfort colors. Some would say true to size. What do we got? 100%
Super
100%
comfortable.
cotton.
I mean,
Very comfortable.
It is like,
especially this time of year when it's getting a little cooler.
it is like a cloud on your chest and torso.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, and if you don't believe me, try for yourself. Slide into our DMs at BusinessOnTop Pod. And you mentioned boys and girls, and I'll tell you what all the boys and girls are doing these days is, they're in the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah.
NFL fantasy football playoffs are raging right now, and we've got a little bit of an update to bring you. I am pleased to announce, as the commissioner of the league, this is our 9th season, that all 3 members sitting at this table
Out of 4. 3 out of the 4 remaining.
3 out of the 4 semifinalists in our league are the Business on Top podcast crew.
We did it. Somehow. You guys are playing each other.
We have a nice history.
So the Shane versus Vijay fantasy football history goes all the way back to 2012, and the night that I met T-Pain at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino down here in Davie, Florida. What did you say?
Hey, how did you do?
Oh yeah, that's it. So that's a good story. Now I have to tell it because you said the sound. So long story short, we're there at the casino to celebrate my friend's 21st birthday. We're there until about like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And as we're walking out, we see some guy walking in, and he goes to the high stakes poker table. One of our friends' brothers, who's a very big hip hop fan, knows, hey, that's T-Pain. So we walk by him, and we say, on the way out, we say, hey, T-Pain, what's going on, man? And he looks at us, and God, without skipping a beat, I'll never forget this. I'm going to take this memory to the grave with me. He looks up, just as if he's like recording on a record in the studio. He goes, hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I mean, it was fantastic, right on cue. I mean, that guy probably gets it all the time, and it was pretty cool.
Finest.
That's right.
Real professional.
Yeah, I mean, hey, honestly, I used to go on a date with a girl who I think sold him his first guitar. That's another story. Yeah, that's another story
You
for
and
another.
T-Pain are destined to be
I know.
friends.
Well, our destinies are bonded, I think. Honestly, I'm going to just do... I'm leaving this show to do a podcast with T-Pain, I think. That's where we can do the Business on Pain podcast.
He's got a nice Twitch channel, which we're going to start soon.
Yeah.
Rumor has it. Everything quick.
Yeah.
Before we go to break, I want to talk to you guys. You guys are focused on the finals. You each have a player on your roster that probably you're paying very close attention to. Who do you think is your X factor in order to make the finals this week? Ben, I want to start with you.
Well, I'm still old school when it comes to fantasy, so I draft quarterbacks really late. Like late in the draft, I pick up a guy like a Matt Stafford or a Matt Ryan that put up consistent points, but not like the high point weeks that you get from Mahomes or even like Lamar Jackson now. And I went with that strategy, again, my 3 leagues this year, and kind of backfired on me this year.
Okay, wrap it up.
Cut to the chase. I drafted Carson Wentz. He sucks. So I've just been playing the waiver wire game, and I'm rolling with Jalen Hurts. He started last week. He had a good game. Have him starting this week. I have Drew Brees on the IR. Do I start him coming off injury against the Chiefs? We'll see what happens. But right now, Jalen Hurts is
that's your X factor.
hopefully my quarterback. I mean, my quarterback.
Projected the most points out of any player.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Nice. What about you?
T.Y. Hilton is the most interesting player. He is the player in my lineup that I'm most intrigued about.
And you've
Riding-
kind of
Writing a
for
little
the
bit
last couple years.
He's been a Chernoff guy for a very long time.
Yeah,
T.Y. Hilton has
That's why
been
he was trade for him.
a Chernoff guy for a very long time. Parcells has his guys, I have mine. I happen to think T.Y. Hilton's a great receiver who can stretch the field. Didn't quite get along with Phillip Rivers, and I don't know if it's a question of his health, but he's come on strong lately. I think he's had about 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games or something like that. But he looks really good, and if he can continue that streak, I'm hoping that will propel me to the finals. What about you?
Since we're playing each other, I think DJ Metcalf is my X.
DK.
Oh, DK, sorry.
Well, now you're becoming me. You're becoming me. It's rubbing off on
rubbing
everyone.
off on all of us over here. I think DK Metcalf is one of those guys that can put up like 2 touchdowns and almost 200 yards if he actually.
But he has Russell Wilson, right?
I
so
do.
If DK Metcalf goes off, I mean, Shane's going to get some of those points.
Unless they run a reverse and Chris Carson throws the ball.
Or DK gets like 200 yards and maybe like 1 touchdown and.
Russ is still getting those yards.
You heard it here. You heard it here
but the
first.
receiver gets.
Yeah, he gets
more points.
Yeah.
Calling it now. DK Metcalf gets a 99-yard touchdown run in garbage time to defeat me.
And he passes for a touchdown.
There it is. Business on top. Coming up next, we wrap up our 2020 recap. We recap our moments of the year and some more fun stuff coming up next. Welcome back to the Business on Top podcast. We are closing out the year with you. We just talked to you about some fantasy football, and we have made some stirrings across the league. We actually have one of our members who Ben played against last week and knocked out. This is Tim Hennix. He is calling into the show, and he wants to talk to Ben. He's got a bone to pick with Ben. Tim, talk to us here.
Ben, I really don't appreciate the way you've sandbagged your way throughout the entire year. You come into the playoffs, first round, 6th seed, after I get absolutely just, the rug gets pulled out from under me. I have the 2 seed and the playoff bye in hand, and Rosenzweig takes it from me. And then you slide into the playoffs, you come in here, you have the best week of the year. I don't understand.
That's showbiz, baby.
You cheated. What'd you do?
That's what we call the Hanukkah miracle right there. Me and Adam, thanks to our ancestors, just the Hanukkah miracle came through. As we all know, as you pointed out a couple weeks ago, I had probably top 3 points in the league while I was sitting in 9th.
He only had enough oil to last for like 4 W's, and he somehow got 7.
I expressed sympathy to you.
You did.
I called you up.
You did.
I called you up and I said, you know what, man, I feel so bad. You're getting screwed.
You did.
And then 3 weeks later, you do this to me.
You did. You said you looked at my matchups and just laughed at the points I would put up and the team I was playing, would have their high point of the week, and your kind of speech kind of fueled my team. My guys were like, what the hell are we doing here? And they kind of kicked it in gear, and we're rolling right now. And we're sorry that the train had to go through your station, but
You gotta get off the tracks when the train's coming through.
I'm gonna
Hennix.
be honest though. You gotta blame the Steelers, because if the Steelers played like they normally do, you would have smoked me. But the one week, the Steelers.
Big Ben Roethlisberger. He wants to throw the ball to Deontay Johnson and James Washington.
Yeah.
There's Claypool there. Just throw the ball to Claypool.
You
I
have-
can't blame him for not throwing the ball to Ebron. That dude couldn't catch a cold. He couldn't catch COVID in the middle of a crowded shopping mall. He couldn't do it.
You're right.
Dude can't catch.
I thought you had it locked up. You had, I don't know, I didn't crunch the numbers, but you probably had 75% of the Steelers offense, and
The Steelers offense looks not so good anymore, so that's okay.
Yeah.
All I want for Christmas is for Adam to lose, because he did this to me, and I'd like you, Ben, to take him out.
Thank
But
you.
unfortunately, you've got to play VJ, so I need you to beat VJ.
No,
Oh.
that's not true. I'm playing VJ. So the ultimate question is, we've got the final 4. It's me, VJ, Adam, and Ben. All 3 Business on Top boys made it to the semifinals. Who are you, Tim Hennix, rooting for to win this league?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, get out of here, Hennix. I've had about enough of you. Goodbye.
The Golden Taints. Tim inspired our playoff run back
Tim's
in week
pissed.
like 11 or 12, and Tim Hennix, the Stickmen team,
Oops, I actually FaceTime. Oops.
has fueled the fire under the Maccabees, and we're rolling. The train's rolling,
I mean,
and there's 2 stops left.
you
so
might get a
hopefully-
Hanukkah miracle. The 6 seed, you barely squeak in, and that's the beauty of fantasy football.
I'm gonna
It
need
can- anything is possible.
Or whatever we have.
If we go back, I don't know what episode it was, but we mentioned I was in the 9th seed. I had a very high points, and it was very fluky, and I just needed a couple games to go my way. They did, and like the 07 Giants, like the 2012 Giants, get into the playoffs and anything can
That's
happen.
what I did.
Right, exactly.
You catch fire late and ride that wave.
Right, you get hot, anything can happen, especially in the weird world of fantasy football. And honestly, that was fun. We do like to have a lot of fun around here. But we're also a show that cares about our community, wants to make a difference in our community, and a cause that I care about very much, especially when we're right around the holidays here, is like family hunger and hunger in America. We have a lot of people who, especially during this pandemic, are really struggling to make ends meet, and that is why I wanted to take this time to introduce you guys to a favorite charity of mine, Feeding America. Feeding America does a lot of really good work in the community, feeding people who are unable to get like nutritionally balanced meals because of the problem of hunger. And I wanted to let you know that you can get involved. So what I have here is all the money that was in my wallet. I'm going to put it on the console right now. It is $1 in addition to several other dollars. This is all going towards Feeding America, and you could potentially get even more money going to Feeding America. All that is going towards Feeding America, and I'm going to give you the opportunity. I will match up to $100 that gets donated to Feeding America up through the end of the year. All you have to do is slide into our DMs at BusinessOnTop Pod. Send me a screenshot of your donation to Feeding America, and I will match it up to $100 so we can all make a difference in this great community of ours. We live in a great country. We live in a great society. We're all very blessed. So let's take some time to spread some holiday cheer and make a difference in our community. Be the people that we're all capable of being. Now, it's been a weird 2020, but it's also been a fun 2020 doing this podcast, guys. I really want to tell you, it has been so much fun doing this. It's the highlight of my week. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but God, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad we pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah. I mean, we're all like, if the audience could see our group chat, especially on like a Thursday or a Friday, it's like, I can't wait to get off work and start filming or start playing Mario Kart. Something we all look forward to during a time when there's really not much to look forward to. It's work, come home for the most part, but luckily we've had the podcast to kind of take our mind off of everything going on, and we've had fun. It's kind of allowed us to learn new things, like get creative, come up with things.
This was like both of your first forays in a broadcast, and I'm very impressed with how polished you guys have been and how quickly you've picked it up, because I'll tell you what, 45 minutes of content once a week is not easy.
Well, I know, I can't speak for you, but alcohol definitely helps.
Oh God.
Some beer car rounds definitely help.
You need a little liquid courage, huh?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
It loosens your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
To like kind of.
There's no thinking.
Just talk. Like friends. Like
yeah.
we are.
Yeah. Friends.
No. There's no white.
I'll be there for you. Nice. Nailed it.
So, I mean, we've gone to 15 episodes, and we're just, starting.
Just getting started.
Yeah, we're learning as we go, and Shane mentioned earlier before the show, we're gonna, I think next week with it being Christmas and the New Year right around the corner, we're gonna sit down and map out what we want to do for 2021.
There is more stuff coming.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a very exciting powwow. We're gonna have an interesting summit next week.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come back with you with some more great stuff. 2020 was just a warm up. Just wait till you see what we have in store for you for 2021.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of the new year, obviously everyone sets their New Year's resolution, whether or not they follow it or not. It goes well. You start going to the gym January.
It does go well. You're
February.
so handsome now.
Thanks. But it's tough to follow for the whole year. So, outside of our podcast, what are your guys' New Year's resolutions for 2021?
I've been proactive about mine. I've done a couple things. If you follow me on my regular Instagram, I have signed up for a triathlon and a half marathon. Two things that I'm in close to the best shape of my life right now. So if I'm gonna do it, I might as well freaking do it now. I mean, let's go.
You should Instagram live the triathlon from
like a
Business
GoPro or
from
something like
Business
that.
on Top.
I would
Let's
love
be
to,
specific,
honestly.
It's not a real triathlon because
It's a sprint triathlon. It's a sprint
Wait, what?
triathlon. It's not
Sprint.
It's not like a
Sprint.
true triathlon. So it is 450 miles of swimming, and then
No, not
follow
450 miles.
400. 450.
Holy crap, we wouldn't be filming until
Shane's swimming around the
2030.
world.
Yeah, it would become a 2-person podcast real quick because I would drown and die first. 450 meters, 8 miles of biking followed by basically a 5K.
That's amazing though. That's a.
So how much is 450 meters?
It's basically, so you know how like the length of an Olympic swimming pool is 50 meters?
Okay.
It would be
So-
nine times back and forth.
So you just basically going.
Well, 9
It's not-
times.
It's
one
It's
way.
not that's not that bad. I eat 450 meters of swimming for
But in the
breakfast.
ocean, you're swimming in the ocean.
It's in a lake, I think.
Oh, easy.
It's not too bad.
I did
Anyway.
that this morning.
I can do that.
And I threw up.
I swam to work, yeah, exactly.
This one worked.
Yeah, so that's how I'm gonna train for it.
That's awesome.
I gotta get a triathlon suit, which is apparently a thing.
Yeah.
I want to put that on our Instagram poll
Wetsuit.
after the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that the triathlon suit was a thing?
Yeah.
Because I thought you just wore like basically just like really tight dry fit and then like some
You should get
shorts.
it embroidered.
Oh, yeah.
Put the logo on there.
Yeah, we can do it. We
I
got the hookup.
you know what? That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What is your New Year's resolution, Vijay Patel? I have hogged the air.
Oh man, I haven't really thought about a resolution yet.
What about for Mimas?
I wanna. Well, besides Mima's becoming available in all retailers out there.
Quickly, my resolution is to have that delicious sub at
Oh, and
down in Davie at Vinny's. I really want it.
But I mean, our goal is to double or triple sales from 2020, which has been pretty successful for us. And then also become available in every retail shopping or I guess grocery supermarket around you. And we're working towards that, man. It's gonna happen. We're very confident in our product and company, so
It's
we'll
legit.
see. But yeah,
Anyway, I mean,
we've been lucky to have a good product, like one that sells itself. So
We are getting to the end here. This is the last podcast of 2020, episode 15. I would like for everybody to give some words of encouragement because no show next week. Give us something to tide the people over as we thunder into 2021. Ben Siegel.
oh wow, on the spot.
Yeah, if you want me to, I can filibuster.
No, I mean, like we have a lot of guests lined up, really, that we'll have on 2021. Some hopefully professional athletes, some guys working in.
Rumor
professional
has
sports,
it, you
some
never
guys
know.
who
Asterisk.
maybe used to work or play in the pros or college level,
stay tuned.
amongst others. I mean, we're growing and we have stuff in the works that we're excited about. We're still hoping for a Taco Bell sponsorship. I think that's our big.
That's gonna be our measuring stick. We
Yeah.
know we've made it when
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Or you know what? Let's start it off. Maybe let's get like a retweet or not a retweet, like a view,
A share.
a share or a view from Taco Bell, because we can check off pro athlete viewing our story because Tori
Yeah.
Prince already did.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say we're gonna do.
Yeah.
I need to get back on my mission to try to get that guy in the show.
We know Business on Top is being talked about in the NBA amongst LeBron and all those guys. So NBA,
not a big deal.
old
Yeah.
news. Taco Bell,
That's
we need
the new
we need
news.
2021. What about you guys?
Well, one thing I want to say is that next year you will get both an interview with us and Jeff Bezos, and we're gonna get my thoughts on the election. I swear. Next year, first episode. But I just want to say thank you. This stuff is fun, and we do it because we enjoy it. But at the same time, we also want to do it for you because it's fun to have something to listen to, and we want to be relatable, and we want to be conversational. So I hope you enjoy what we put out. We're going to try to do as much as we can to make things more interesting and more fun next year. So we got a lot more coming at you.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, and I'll just piggyback off you guys, and I'm actually just very proud of us for starting this, because I mean, it's been in the works for years, I think, in a way.
It's been something that's been talked about on
And
several
I'm glad
occasions.
we pulled the trigger, because it's something that we can, you know, do every week and continue to be like close friends, and I think it is going to last for a long time. And it's just, I think it's motivation for other people who are trying to get into the same kind of space, or just like are on the brink of starting something, a company or whatever it is. You can do it. I mean, we started Mima's Chimney in a pandemic. Literally, in like as soon as the pandemic started, we started it, and it ended up being successful in a economy that was tough for small businesses.
It's tough to break into, period.
Right,
You know,
but-
let alone in like a food space where that becomes very difficult.
But if you grind and you know, you
If you put the work
Keep
in, pressure
work in,
pressure makes diamonds, right?
exactly. It can happen in any kind of environment. So we're glad to keep going for you guys, keep you guys motivated, keep bringing you guys good content, and we're gonna keep it going for 2021.
We'll keep grinding, keep pushing. We're going to be there for you. Thank you for being there for us. That is our 2020. This is the Business on Top podcast. We will see you in 2021. One last. Stay tuned. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Cue the music.
Cue the music.